Right then, get started with hand tools because, again, I want to do this for beginner gardeners and you might not know what to buy. You'll end up spending far too much money if you don't know what you're getting. So let's have a look. Divided up into 3 categories. Got your digging, cutting and general tidying up. Oh, didn't want to swear at the camera. Right, well, we'll start off with the cutting first. So I'd say my most used tool out of anything, it's always in my pocket, in a safe way obviously, not if I'm going to the pub, going to a gig or something, is a decent quality knife. Well, I've got the Opinel number 8 there, got a lock and blade, really easy to sharp, high carbon steel, chop through. I usually use for cutting string away, opening bags, that type of thing, nice and easy. It's nice and sharp and all. Next one, I've got a couple of these. So you've got your pruning saw. This is a cheapie. Very rarely get used now. You can see how much use it's had, though the blade's a bit wobbly and bent. Use that for anything, well, really up to the length of the blade. I've used it on. Like I say, I don't really like this one. I forgot I had it in my work bag, to be honest. So I thought I'd just get it out, show you what one of these looks like. But for any sort of anything your loppers can't get through, which I'll get on to next. Pruning saw, absolutely fine. I will say, a lot of these tools here aren't mine. I am down the community garden at Space to Grow. I did want to get a lot of hedge work, cutting back done today, but you might be able to hear on the camera, it is absolutely lashing down, so it's getting tool maintenance, that type of thing done. But anyway, loppers. Nice, cut through anything. They usually say up to thumb size. I've got kind of big thumbs. You might not want to cut anything that big because it can smash the blade. With loppers, you can see how rusty they are there and dull. So I'll be sticking these in the back of the car when I leave. Run the grinder over them when I get home so they're ready for the vols starting again in spring. Anything up to the size of a standard man's thumb, really. You can chop through wood, things like that. Next one, you'll see the state of these. There's a pair of shears, but the state of that. Handle's bent now, buggered. But shears, anything thin, if you're cutting back sort of larger areas, hedge and stuff like that, like they still work. Just get them on the anvil, bend that down, bit of WD-40, easy clean up. But again, where anything, a lot of the shears and stuff, don't buy cheap, because usually, well, it's called a tang on a knife, but usually if you buy the cheap ones, it's plastic in there, it's going to snap if you're going through anything hard. I like ones with a decent full metal handle on them, just to make sure they're actually good. Next one, bit of a weird one, is your topiary shears. Ooh, they're rusted. There we go, forgot I had these and all. So we'll be using these for, they need a bit of love. But using these for things like topiary, so if you got bucks of balls stuff in your back garden, or when people have like hedges cut in the shapes of ducks, don't want to do it with petrol tools because it's a little bit, a bit dicey with stuff like that. I prefer getting in with a pair of hand shears that have been oiled and don't keep clicking like that. Next one, my favourite saw, other than me chainsaw, is a fixed blade pruning saw. Now this is a Samurai. I bought this off another gardener in the pub. Standard, did have a little belt clip, but I've snapped it. So it's got the nice curved blade, good handle on it. This I've took down trees, probably about that wide, maybe he's a little bit bigger. Cuts absolutely lovely. I'll probably need a new one in a couple of years because the teeth are starting to break down. With stuff like this, you can buy new blades. It's no biggie. Now on the weird cutting stuff that I've brought with us, because like I said, I was going to do some hedging work. I'm getting itchy. I've been cleaning this greenhouse, and the amount of dust and that in my tash is ridiculous. I'm going to have to have a shower when I get home. So this is a bill hook. Use this for, well, I use it usually take long if I'm doing hedging and other sort of forestry tree conservation work, and I don't want to take an axe with us as well. I'll take me little bill hook. So this, like I say, it's for hedge laying, it's for getting like underneath the roots and sort of riving out. And yeah, it's absolutely perfect. It is dangerous, it was double-sided. Don't use it if you're feeling unsafe. Swinging tools as well. never wear gloves, so it'll fly out of your hands. And the last one is, funnily enough, it was a Valentine's Day present from my fiancée last year. This is my little hand scythe. I usually use this for sort of snedding off trees, which is taking the limbs off, harvesting large amounts of herbs, or if you've watched the Space to Grow walkthrough what to do in February video, you'll notice there was a huge growth of chive and lemon balm, I think it is. I'm just looking out the greenhouse window there. This, perfect if you don't want to use the shades, just grab a bunch. It's also good for, right now it's been talking too much rubbish because the camera cut out, but I use it for cutting around, say, over where the rose bed is, trimmed it, got as close to the roses as I feel comfortable doing with a wire, get in underneath, chop them out. Need to keep it sharp. I have had this through my thumb a couple of times. Hospital visit was interesting when I told them what happened, but tetanus shot, bit of super glue, not to matter, man, be fine. So that is the end of the cutting tools there. So I'll come back with the, what do you next? Get digging out the way. So everybody loves digging holes. Yeah, so this is me from the future, looking back, editing that video and realising that I'm a bit of an idiot. One of the most important cutting tools I've got is a good pair of secateurs. These are about 15 quid. I've had them 4 years, saying that. Do need a good sharpening. Well, no, we're going to see. Just need to run the file over them, but good pair of secateurs is always a good thing to have. Cutting back, I use these for pruning, usually roses, anything small, and deadheading as well. So, back to me in the greenhouse, I think. Nice one, peace. Right then, the words of Mudvayne, dig, bury me, burr, deng and all that shite. Right, first one off, standard, is your normal size garden trowel. Say this one's seen some decent use, the weld on it is starting to feel in there, but I get through, there's about 3-4 days a year through work. Standard little hand digging tool really, there's not that much about it. Get your holes good for putting on, planting out stuff like that for smaller plants. Next on your tiny hand tools is your little hand fork. So we use this for getting plants out really where you want to preserve more of the root. If you're scared of putting the trowel in, potentially cutting the root, just go underneath, gently lift out, and then jobs are done. Next one is a standard garden fork. So a full size garden fork. I use this for digging out. I like to use them for digging out large patches of brambles because there's none up yet. I'm going to do a video now, you know, if you're getting them out, it's a right pain in the backside. But digging out like rhizomes, tubers, harvesting potatoes, any sort of root vegetables, just in underneath. It'll save you back and it'll save you damaging them. Quite good for getting into tree roots and all, and hedges if you want to transplant them or kill them off. If you just want to dig them out, absolutely perfect. Your next one is the spade. Everybody knows what spade is. Digging holes. It's pretty much there's not really you can say. Sort of entrenching, digging drainage ditches, digging any holes you want. I'm not going to tell you what spade is. Everybody knows what spade is. And last but not least is handy dandy shovel. So you can't dig with these. You can. I'll use a shovel mainly for sort of tidying up. If you can see this one, I've been using it for some concreting. Shifting materials about really. You don't want to use this to dig because you'll hurt yourself. Same as you don't want to use a spade, sorry, nearly messed them two up, now the last one have killed us. For sort of moving larger volumes of stuff, say into wheelbarrows and things like that, because it's going to be a pain. And the next one, maybe's include this in the digging, it is sort of digging, is your hoe. Oh, matron. Down the red light district, pick one of these up fairly cheap. Any type of hoe's gonna work for you. It's mainly for weeding in your beds in between your plants. Personally, I don't like using them. I prefer just get down on my hands and knees and getting them out with the root instead of just moving the problem along a little bit further into the future. But you know, people like what they like. It's as my back starts to deteriorate even further with work, I reckon it'll come in handy and I will start using them there. Right, onto the tidying up part. Right, so tidying up. Standard, little dustpan and brush. I prefer using these in, God, that wind's getting bad, Jesus. I like using these like sort of in the greenhouse, little potting areas where you kind of get full size brushing. I much prefer using natural fibre and metal, because you can see that one, don't know, somebody's been chowing on it, I think. But I much prefer using the more hardy ones, because these will break down, non-recyclable, and they're crap really, aren't they? Next one, a bit further out the way, is landscaping rake. Well, it's a bit smaller than a landscaping rake, just can't remember the proper name for it. Use these for raking up, well, just raking stuff really. Good for prepping the soil, tilling the soil for direct sowing outdoors as well. But usually in my line of work, if I'm not down space to grow, I'll use it for, you know, getting up hedge clippings, things like that. Perfect, class little bit of kit. Always take one on every job I've got, because they're just that useful. Next up is your springboard rake or grass rake. Not the most useful tool unless you've got a lot of lawn that way, unless your mower can't pick your grass cuttings up, which is rare nowadays. And for raking leaves, now again, I prefer using a landscaping rake just to save us tapping two things on a job, but they're good to have. I've got a little collapsible one in the house, so if I'm going somewhere I think I might need it, just falls down to about that big. I think you get them out of B&M for about a tenner. And aye, decent. Your last one, a decent stiff brush. Any sort of outdoor brush will do. Preferably one where you can't replace the head on it as well, because they do tend to wear out fairly quickly if you're doing a lot of gardening work. But I think, let's have a look. Aye, that's all the tools sorted. So if you want to get into gardening this spring or summer, or if you want to start now, get your stuff started off, that's what you'll need. It's not cheap to get into, but buy the most, well, not the most expensive stuff, but buy what's in your budget. If you think something looks too expensive, say trying to think what I've got in there, me Samurai, what's it called? Pruning saw, that's the one. That one they retail at around about £79, but you get what you pay for. That little one cost us 15, I think, and I bent the blade on the second job. So you know, you get what you pay for. But buy what you can. Happy gardening and all that. Peace.